In today's video, I will be taking a look at another hypothetical 2024 presidential election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. This is a rematch of 2020. Now we have the safe states on your screen already filled in. We can start with the likely Democratic states. The likely Democratic states include Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico, the state of Delaware, the state of New Jersey, the state of Virginia, the state of Illinois, and this Maine's first district, which would be all the likely Democratic states, putting Joe Biden at 209 electoral votes. Now for Donald Trump, he has this likely Republican states of Kansas, Texas, Alaska, South Carolina, Florida, Ohio, and Iowa. The state of Florida is trending Republican, and I expect Trump to be able to win by about 7 or 8 points in the state, and Texas as well trending Democrat, but it should go to Trump by about 8 or 9 points. Now going to the states that I consider to be lean Democratic. The first state is the state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin, really not much of a surprise. Biden did win this state by 7 in 2020. I expect the margin to be around 4 to 5 points in this hypothetical election. Now for the state of Maine's at-large district. At-large electoral votes, this should not be a surprise as well. Biden did win the state by 9 in 2020. I expect the margin to shrink a little bit because I think Maine's 2nd district's turnout will be slightly higher and giving Democrats a narrower win of about 4 or 5%, and Maine's 2nd will as well be in the likely Republican column. Now going to the final lean Democratic state is the state of New Hampshire. I do expect this state to be in the lean Democratic category, as Democrats still typically win the state, not by the largest of all margins, but they still typically do win the state. Now going to Joe Biden, Donald Trump's lean states. The first state is the state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin is still a state that's trending Republican pretty heavily, but it isn't as red as I initially thought, as proven by the 2022 Senate election in the state of Wisconsin, so I'm going to put it in the lean Republican category. The next state that will be in the lean Republican category is the state of North Carolina. North Carolina, I'll put in the lean Republican area. It will probably vote for Trump by about 4%, so slightly higher than his 2020 presidential election margin, but not quite in the likely Republican category. The final state will be Arizona. Now, Arizona is definitely a very moderate state. However, I think that the state might trend Republican for this one single general election because the state, I think that 2020 may have been a slight outlier. I think that the state, although it's trending blue, might not be that willing to vote for a Democrat, such as Joe Biden, who is not necessarily that popular in the United States. Now going to the states that will be tilted for Joe Biden. The first state will be the state of Michigan. Michigan will be very narrowly in the Democratic column because I think that Democrats may lose a little bit of support, just a little bit of support from 2020, but I think they'll still be able to win the state by maybe 0.2 or 0.3%. Now for Trump, his first tilt state is Nevada. I think many Hispanic voters will end up voting for Donald Trump as they did in Florida in 2020. However, I do think that Joe Biden will win Pennsylvania. We also saw that in the 2022 midterm elections, John Fetterman won by an unexpected 5%, and Josh Shapiro, the Democratic Attorney General, won by 16 points in his governor race, so I'm going to have to put this in the Democratic column. Now for the final two, really one district and one state that are yet to I have yet to categorize. The first district here, I'm going to give it to Joe Biden. Biden did win the district by 7. However, for the deciding state, the state of Georgia, I will give the state to Donald Trump. Trump, I think, will narrowly be able to win out the state of Georgia, as although black voters may not support him, I think the turnout will be lower, and that should help Trump. So that will be my election prediction. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and goodbye.